Hey guys, Ken Maxfield, the Hide Guy. Here's our market recap for the week ending September the 7th. Week started out a little bit slow. We had a holiday on Monday. We celebrate the Labor Day holiday. As usual, packers and processors waited to go ahead and offer not until Wednesday, treating Tuesday as a Monday. When the offer list did come out, as expected, a lot of the lists were a little bit more populated than the week prior. There was actually a few more selections offered. That's evident because the producers weren't selling as many hides as what was being harvested, so they were trying to move a few more. Things started out pretty slow. A lot of people talked about having only a handful of bids. A lot of people said they didn't have any bids. However, Thursday rolls around, the number of bids started to improve. The challenge was most guys were looking to pay $2 to $3 under the asking prices of the sellers. Sellers really weren't ready to take that kind of a discount. Tried countering back at full price, hoping to maybe get within $1 of their asking price. Then overnight, things improved again, even more bids. There was, some business concluded. I think for the most part, if you were able to sell, steady was really difficult to get. I think most everything traded close to $1 underneath last week, and there might even been, a selection or two that traded a couple dollars down. So overall, I would call prices off at least $1. The volume of hides traded. Opinions are mixed as to how many were sold. There were some packers who were claiming they had some decent sales this week. So take your pick on that. I tend to lean with not a terrible week, but I'm not sure we are going to see, 650,000 on next week's export report. So talking about the export report that came out, let me get that up here. A little bit surprising. We had some really good wet blue sales on it, and those were 216,200 hides. That's up more than double what we saw last week, and more than double what we've seen the last 4 weeks. Wet salted sales weren't terrible. They were, let's see here, get it right. They were 390,300. That's a little bit lower than what they've been averaging for the quarter, but again, not a terrible week. In fact, if you would add up all of the sales, both wet blue and wet salted for the third quarter, you're only about 60,000, 70,000 lower than the kill, but then you got to factor in that domestic soak in the U.S. Let's be generous, that's probably 35,000. So we've got, so since the first of the week of the quarter, we've probably accrued 200,000 hides. So not terrible, but it's just indicative to what's going on. There's just simply too many hides being produced for the amount of demand that's out there. And let's be honest, that the 535,000 combined sales, that's not terrible leather business. It's just there's too many hides. Going around the world, taking a peek real quick, Brazil announced that they have intentions to withdraw their 9% export tax on wet blue. That wreaked havoc with the cow markets around the world. Guys are saying they're having trouble moving branded cows at respectable levels. Everybody's bidding them down lower, and there's been some difficult decisions made as to what levels do they really want to trade at. There's all kinds of rumors about sales as low as $14 delivered on branded cows. Kind of a hodgepodge of northern and southern here in the United States. That's rumored. So have to see how that plays out. Native cows kind of in a similar situation because of it. But prices in Brazil this past week, I'm going to call them fully steady on the fresh. Also on the wet blue, 65 to 70 cents. I know there's some people say they can get more, yet I got people telling me they're buying it less. So I'm going to call that unchanged at 65 to 70 cents a square foot. Europe prices are off. Guys are trying there to hold it steady best they can, kind of like they're doing everywhere else in the world. But if you want to trade hides, you want to trade anything in volume in Europe, you're taking less money. And they're talking, off maybe $1, maybe $2 on some selections. Australia unchanged, although they're facing a similar situation. They're looking at what's going on here in the States. They see that, the underlying pressure worldwide. They're trying their best to hold it steady. They've got a drought going on. They've got bigger kills. They've got the same problem. More hides than there is demand. So end of the day, it looks like the underlying pressure of the market is starting to factor into things. I look for that trend to continue. So that's it for this week. If you would, check out my website, www.themaxfieldreport.com. I offer 14-day free trial, so check it out. We'll see you next week.